Jai Gurudev students. Good morning to everyone. Now today I'm going to discuss the next important topic from the waterways that I have started in my last video lesson, and in this video lesson I shall discuss major seaports. Now, as I told you students, that waterways been categorized into two, that is, one is inland waterways, and for doing international trade major seaports been established in several parts of our country, specifically in coastal areas, in western coastal areas, and then in the eastern coastal areas also will have different major seaports for doing international trade. That means for transporting passengers as well as goods from one country to another country. Now I can clearly see one important fact that is mentioned here, that on the coastline of 7,516.6 kilometers, we have 12 major ports and 187 notified non-major ports handling 95% of foreign trade. So on the coastline, obviously these seaports are established on the coastline, and the area is 7,516.6 kilometers, and in this area we have 12 major ports, very vital ports been established, and 187 notified non-major ports. Non-major ports, you can also say minor ports, and that is handling 95% of foreign trade. Foreign trade, that is export and import, to export things from our country to another country, we use this means of transportation. As I told you in my last video lesson students, that this is the cheapest means of transportation. So obviously where the cost is less, profit will be higher. So many traders used to choose this means of transportation for exporting goods from one country to another country. Now the major ports, this is very important question, and map work might be asked in the examination. So again I will suggest you to prepare a map and pause this video lesson and prepare a map first of all, and then try to locate the major seaports that you are having in different part of our country. I will also be using one map to provide you a fair idea about these ports. Now first of all we have Kandla Port, and this port is developed in the wake of loss of Karachi Port due to partition. Now earlier there was before 1947, there was no Pakistan, India and Bangladesh. Everything was united, but in 1947 there was partition. So as a result, we lost the Karachi port, and to overcome this loss, Kandla port been developed. So where is the Kandla? It is here in Gujarat. So this is the point, you should locate this in your map also. This is the Kandla port, which is in Gujarat. So this was set up to in the wake of loss of Karachi airport due to partition. Now this is another port is Tidal Port, handling trade and granary and industry. So this Tidal Port, you know, the tidal energy is there. This part is this chapter is deleted from the syllabus, but there is a energy which is called tidal energy, that is using wind to generate the energy. So just when there is wind flows, then automatically there is deposition of water. So with the help of this water, ships been transported or moved from one place to another place. So tidal energy is also used for the purpose of shifting things from one place to another place. So this is next. Tidal Port handles trade of granary and industry. Now students, you might have fair idea about that major industry. These are the major or the prosperous region of our country. We have Uttar Pradesh, then we have Haryana, Bihar, West Bengal. So these are Punjab. These are the prosperous region of our country. So obviously there will be major industries to supply industrial products from these. This Kandla airport is nearby, so obviously they use this one to ship products from one country to another country. So this is number one. This is Kandla Airport, and first of all, it's very important to know why this was established. It was developed in the wake of loss of Karachi Airport, which was lost due to partition. This is number one. Next in our list is Mumbai Port, and this Mumbai Port is the biggest port in our country. So here is the Mumbai. Now many of the students might have problems in locating different states in our country. So I'll suggest you to prepare a map of our country, locate all the states and fix this on the wall in your state study room, and keep on looking the map every day. Automatically you will get a complete idea about the different states of our country, and you will be able to locate these states very easily. Do this, and in the final examination things will get very easy for all of you students. So this is here, this is the Mumbai port, Seaport, that is in the coast of that is the western part of our country, western coast areas. So this is Mumbai. But due to heavy congestions, it gets there is so much traffic generates here. So that's why, since it is the biggest port in our country, so in order to reduce this congestion, another port been developed here, that is Jawaharlal Nehru Port. So you see, Nehru Port was planned to decongest it. It was huge congestion because since it is the biggest port in our country, so uh, so many goods are deposited here to ship from one country to another country. So there is too much traffic. So in order to reduce this amount of traffic, another port been established just near this Mumbai port, which is Jawaharlal Nehru Port. I hope this is clear, students. The next one is your Marmaga Port and New Mangalore Port. Now these are major iron ore exporting ports. Iron ore exporting ports in our country. Now different we have iron ore industries in our country. Jharkhand is, we know that we get the red and yellow soil, so it is quite natural that there will be many iron industries to shift iron ores or irons from one country to another country. These two ports are normally used. So we have Marmaga, which is in Goa, and that is New Mangalore, which is in Karnataka. So these are two important ports, this one and this one, Marmaga Port and New Mangalore Port. Now then we have Kochi Port, which is the extreme southwestern port. You can see in the south, this is the western part, and this is southwestern part. So this is extreme. So this is the center, and then this is the extreme point. Okay, so this is extreme southwestern port in our country, and this is Kochi. This is also known as Queen of Arabian Sea, because this is the end of Arabian Sea over here. Now here we have Indian Ocean, here we have Bay of Bengal. So that's why this is called Kochi Port, is also known as Queen of Arabian Sea. Now next, one question might be asked, when that which is the southernmost port of our country. Now in southernmost we have Kochi, also we have Tuticorin also, but the answer should be Tuticorin, because if you compare these two, then this Tuticorin port is in the lower latitudes as compared to Kochi. So this one is the southernmost port in our country. So if question is that which one is the southernmost port in our country, answer should be Tuticorin, because if you compare with Kochi, then this Tuticorin is at the lower latitudes as compared to Kochi. So this is the southernmost port of our country. So I hope all these ports which are located in the western coast of our country are very much clear to all of you. We have Kandla Airport, not airport, Kandla Port. Then we have Mumbai. Due to heavy traffic, another port was established, and that is Jawaharlal Nehru Port. Then we have Marmaga Port, which is in Goa, and New Mangalore Port, which is in Karnataka. These two ports are used for exporting and importing iron ore from one country to another country. And then we have this one, that is extreme southwestern part of our country, that is Kochi Port, and this is also known as Queen of Arabian Sea, because it is at the extreme of the Arabian Sea, because here we have the Indian Ocean. And if you are asked that which is the southernmost port of our country, your answer should be Tuticorin. Why? Because it is at the lower latitude as compared to Kochi. So all the ports which are located on the western coast of our country, I hope all these things are clear, students. You have also located it on your map. Now let me proceed to the eastern coast areas of our country. Now, which ports we are having? First of all, we have Tuticorin Port, as I told you, extreme southeastern port of our country. And here we have natural harbor and rich hinterland. So we have these areas are naturally quite rich, and that's why it attracts cargoes from neighboring countries. So since the natural harbor is there, so it always attracts the cargoes from neighboring countries like Maldives and Sri Lanka. And cargoes means goods which are shifted from one place to another place with the help of ships. So this area is quite rich in natural harbor and hinterland also there. That's why it attracts cargoes from the neighboring countries like Sri Lanka and Maldives. So I hope this is clear, students. Next in our list is the Chennai Port. It is the oldest artificial port. It was made very earliest, oldest artificial port, ranked after the Mumbai as far as volume is concerned. So we know that Mumbai is the largest, the biggest port in our country, and Chennai is the second in our list, and it is the oldest artificial port in our country. And as far as volume is concerned, it is number 2 after Mumbai. So this is the next one. Next we have Visakhapatnam Port, and it is the deepest landlocked and well protected port. So we have here that is Visakhapatnam, which is in Andhra Pradesh, landlocked because some things been made here to protect the entire port here. So that is landlocked and well protected port in our country. That is a story of the creation of Bangladesh, and in that time the role of Visakhapatnam port was extremely important. And while forming this Bangladesh, because earlier it was East Pakistan, now called Bangladesh. Now that time the role of Visakhapatnam port was extremely important. So this is your next port, which is in Andhra Pradesh, that is Visakhapatnam. Now next one is your Paradip Port, which specializes the export of iron ores. Now students, we know that here we have major iron ore industries. So this Paradip Port is used for exporting iron ores from one country to another country. So in the eastern coast areas we have Tuticorin Port, Chennai, Visakhapatnam and Paradip. Remaining two are Haldia and Kolkata. First of all, let me explain to you the importance of Kolkata Port. Now this Kolkata Port is the inland riverine. Now if you see the points, all these points are on the coastal line, but this point is not on the coast. So this port is not set up on the coastal areas of our country, but it is made on the river. So that is in inter-riverine port. That's why this is inter-riverine port. And sometimes, since it is made on river, sometimes there is limited availability of water during dry season. So that time, in order to uh, get the water being flowed to this particular port from the Hooghly River, which is in Kolkata. I hope this is clear, students. This port is not established on the coastal area, but it is established on the river. So sometimes there is limitation of water, scarcity of water. Now to supply the water is supplied to this particular port from the Hooghly River. Okay. So this is Kolkata Port, and the last one is Haldia Port, which is subsidiary port to Kolkata Port. Now, just like Mumbai, I told you, due to heavy congestion, Jawaharlal Nehru Port been established because of heavy traffic, and it is also biggest one. Just like this, the Kolkata Port also, there is also heavy traffic. Now to reduce this traffic, this Haldia Port been established near this port one. I hope this is clear, students, that Haldia Port is a subsidiary to Kolkata Port because of the heavy traffic, and in order to reduce the traffic, this port is also established on the coastal area of the country, just like Jawaharlal Nehru Port. So in this video lesson, I have discussed all the major seaports that are there in our country. First of all, you have Kandla, which is in Gujarat, then Mumbai, Jawaharlal Nehru Port. This is a subsidiary port to Mumbai to reduce the traffic. Then we have Marmaga, which is in Goa, the New Mangalore Port. These two ports are responsible for the trade of iron ore. Then Kochi, which is the extreme southwestern port of our country, and this is also known as Queen of Arabian Sea. And on the eastern coast area of our country, we have Tuticorin, and this is the southernmost port of our country, because if we compare this is the southern part of our country. If we compare this with Kochi, and this is in the lower latitude, so that's why this is the southernmost port of our country. Then we have Chennai Port. It is the oldest artificial port in our country. Then we have Visakhapatnam Port, which is well protected and it is also landlocked. And then we have Paradip Port, which is in Odisha, and this port is responsible for export and import of iron ores to different countries of the world. Then we have Haldia. This is a subsidiary port of the Kolkata port because of heavy traffic that we see in the Kolkata port. So this is an in inland riverine port. This is not made on the coast, but it is on the river. But sometimes there is limitation of water, so to uh, get the sufficient amount of water being supplied to this port from the Hooghly River. So you also plot these points on your map. These are very important, and question might be asked from this area also in the final examination. So if you have any doubts from this lesson, students, you can ask me. Thank you.